I'd like to call the Tuesday, October 21st, 2014 City Council meeting to order. Ms. Wahinkle, would you please take the roll?
Florence. Here. Mumgard. Here. Gaines. Here. Glover. Here. Jaworski. Klug. Here. Stubbe. Here. Ingberg. Here.
Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And do we have an affidavit of publication on file?
That is correct.
And a current copy of the Open Meeting Act is posted in the back of the council chambers. Mr. Hoynes, Administrator's report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Can you hear me, Deputy Chief Jones? No, that's a communication thing internally. Begin my report by advising the council that Mayor Black and I have both been invited to a meeting called by Senator Sue Crawford. There's a legislative resolution. It's LR 555. It's an interim study on how services are provided to SIDs by city governments. We do provide some limited services, building inspections, planning and zoning and such, but been a lot of interest recently in why cities don't provide more services to SIDs. The simple response is they don't pay taxes to cities. But certainly there's some interest in Lincoln in trying to expand that scope, and so we're going to participate not only in that early discussion, but probably testimony at the hearing. I believe it's on November 7th, trying to explain, SIDs in our opinion are a very, very good thing, but there's certainly a difference between a city resident and SID resident and how city services are funded. And so we're going to continue to try and provide the best information we can to the legislature during that hearing. Next week, I'll also be participating in an advisory group. It's hosted by Dr. Rickley, various government officials, elected officials on the growth in Sarpy County, how it impacts the school district in the future. Couple of calendar things. One, the city cleanup is this weekend, starting Thursday. Marty told us this morning at staff meeting that he is looking for volunteers if any of you are interested, helping him out there. It's a busy weekend. Conclude my report. Mr. Mayor, you notice Eliza Butler, our able-bodied city clerk's not here. She had her baby. I don't know all the details like I should. At least my wife says. I know it's a really big baby. Well, the mayor has it here. That's not 10 pounds, is it? Or
no, that was the date.
Oh, 1017. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, said 1017. I'm going, that is one. Anyway, Charles Wade, mom and baby are doing fine. She's going to be taking a few weeks off to be mama, and Michelle and Kathy from planning are stepping up and helping with some clerk duties, and Lauren, so we're kind of doing a team approach. But she'll be back soon, probably the first of the year. That concludes my report. 9 pounds, I think.
Thank you very much. Do you have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by Councilwoman Klug. Second by Councilman, was it Gaines? It's Councilman Gaines. Do you have any proponents? Do you have any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
Seven yeas, no nays.
Motion passes. Next is item D1, Ordinance 1701. An ordinance to amend the budget statement to be termed the annual appropriation bill, which was adopted on September 2nd, 2014 by Ordinance 1697 to appropriate sums for necessary expenses and liabilities and to provide for an effective date. Is there a council member that will introduce? Introduced by Councilman Ingberg. Item D2, Ordinance 1705. An ordinance to approve the change of zone of certain real property within the zoning jurisdiction of the city of Papillion, Sarpy County, Nebraska, legally described as the north half of the southwest quarter, together with part of the northwest quarter, all in section 32, township 14, north, range 12, east of the 6th PM, Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located southwest of Highway 370 and 114th Street, from agricultural AG to multifamily residential R4, to amend the official zoning map of the city of Papillion by changing the zoning district boundaries of the zoning map in accordance with section 20532 of the Papillion Municipal Code, and provide for an effective date. This is Ashbury Creek. Is there a council member that will introduce? introduced by Councilman Klug. And for those in the audience that think this was the world's shortest agenda that we've ever had, and I see we got a number of students and scouts, so we'll take some time. Would you guys come up and just introduce yourself and maybe mention why you're here?
Hi, I'm Jared Norblade. I'm from Mr. Keller's class.
Hello, I am Matthew Koenig.
Which troop are you with?
Oh, Troop 60.
Which is, who's the host of that one? Where do you meet?
What?
Where do you meet?
We meet at the American Legion.
American Legion. Okay, thanks.
I'm John Reyes, and I'm also from Mr. Keller's class.
I'm Evan Wiebe, and I'm also from Mr. Keller's class.
I'm Chase Gregerson, I'm also from Mr. Keller's class.
I'm Jimmy Nicole. I'm also from Mr. Keller's class.
Mr. Mumgard.
Do you have to come back? We were only here for 5 minutes. Do you have to come back again? Or do you get credit for coming to a 5-minute meeting? I hope you show up again next time.
I think those with Mr. Keller's class are fine, but the ones that was here with the scouts, I think you were working on a badge and you didn't really get to witness anything. So after the meeting, if you need some additional items for badge requirements, maybe a couple of us will hang around and we can visit with you if you want to. We do have a closed session tonight, so before that, let's do any comments from the floor. No comments from the floor. I don't believe any committees have met either. I've only got a couple of things from the last couple of weeks. The fire department had the pancake feed, and I think the line was out the door to the street a long time, so the community really grabbed onto that, so thanks again for doing that. I went and talked to the Papillion La Vista South High School's Leadership Academy class. I was also a guest speaker at the Omaha Executives Club, giving them an update on developments down here in Papillion. That's a lot of small business owners, so encouraging them to work down here and come down here. Also attended the Papillion Arts Council meeting, challenged them a little bit to start thinking about Veterans Park. If one of the visions in Veterans Park is a reflection node, and it also has a sculpture component, so visited with them about that, and maybe they can play a role there, looking for some grant funding as well. Also attended the MAPA Council of Officials annual meeting, along with Mr. Stubbe, and it was nice. The United Cities of Sarpy County received an award as the Organization of the Year from MAPA, so it was nice to get that recognition. And I think that's most of the updates, other than, again, reminder that the fall cleanup's coming up. There's one ribbon cutting on Tuesday the 28th for Shadow Lake Square. And then on the 30th at Papillion La Vista South is a safe night out. The police department, the fire department, the rec department, and the Mayor's Youth Council all participate in that, and that's from 6 to 8 p.m. So for the closed session, other reminder, the next council meeting is going to be Wednesday, November 5th, because of the elections on Tuesday the 4th. So Wednesday, November 5th is the next council meeting. Is there a motion to go into closed session to protect the public interest to discuss land negotiations? And
before we do that, can I make one comment?
Yes, you can.
I just want to commend the Historic Downtown Business Association for their fall festival that was this past Saturday down at the First Street Plaza. Jason and I were there judging pumpkins. We did an excellent job. They had quite a crowd. This was their second one they've done. A beautiful day, a lot of vendors. They had over 100 participants in the costume contest. It was a great time. Really enjoyed it. And as I stood there, I'm glad that the city administrator has that newspaper article talking about how that plaza has received an Architectural Association award. Because as I stood there and watched the use of that plaza on Saturday, I was reminded of all the events that have been held there this summer and how that plaza is rapidly becoming an integral part of the festival scene in Papillion. It is becoming a landmark. People are using it. I looked at that and I thought, if that plaza wasn't there, I don't know how that business association could have held a festival like they did, which of course is right in the door-to-door with the businesses. People could leave the plaza and go up to the businesses. So I thought I just want to commend the association, commend the city for having that plaza. And I know I was reminded, I was at lunch here a couple of weeks ago, and somebody was telling me how they had heard complaints about how that plaza was a waste of money. The $1 million bathroom, as they were calling it. And as I stood there Saturday and saw the people getting the level of enjoyment that they were getting out of that plaza, I thought to myself, those people who criticize that plaza are just wrong. That's all I can say. So again, that business association is a blessing we have. We want to foster it. They did a wonderful job, and I commend them. Thank you.
They have done a great job, and this is the year they've really come into their own and taken ownership of that. So concerts almost every Tuesday and Wednesday night in the festival. So yeah, we're blessed with the strong businesses down there. Is there a motion to go into closed session to protect the public interest to discuss land negotiations and contract negotiations pertaining to the PCA and IAFF union contracts? Motion by Councilman Klug, second by Councilman Glover. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
Seven yeas, no nays.
Again, I'll state for the record, the purpose of the closed session is only to discuss land negotiations and contract negotiations pertaining to the PCA and IAFF union contracts. The closed session will include the mayor, the city council, city administrator, assistant city administrator, and the city attorney.